AmericanOutdoorsmanGear.com. Built for those who are born to roam.
You know, something that I neglect every year is maintaining my reels. And Russ, I know it is a dirty job, but would you mind showing our viewers out there the right way to clean a reel? I mean, I do it the wrong way all the time.
The most important thing I see, a lot of people will over-grease, over-oil their reel.
I'm guilty of
that. The easiest way to do it, this particular reel here comes apart very easily.
Is this pretty typical of a bait caster?
It's pretty typical on a lot of the bait casters nowadays. This particular reel's got a couple bearings on the side, little bit of oil on the bearings.
What kind of oil do you use?
This is just a light reel oil. Not much, it's not real thick.
Okay.
You don't want a real thick grease
or
oil.
Okay.
And we just put a little drop on each bearing, and she's about ready to put together.
That's all there is to it?
Yes.
Well, I guess
that particular reel there is pretty easy. You don't need to do a lot of over maintenance for these reels.
Well, you know, if I'd known it was that easy, I'd have been doing this every year.
It's ready to go.
Okay, well, what is it? What about a spinning reel?
The spinning reels, I've got one apart right here. Most of the time, just a little light oil on the shaft here itself is about all it takes. Just a little light oil there, and she's ready to put back together. Now, if you are getting a little bit of grease or grind into your reel, I'd recommend taking apart the reel here and doing a little major overhaul there.
What kind of grease do you use on the inside? Is that
Normally,
different than?
Yeah, it's a little thicker grease. This is like a lithium grease here. That we'd use for that. It's
okay.
But that reel's ready to go, and she's ready for line.
Okay. Well, and talking about line, now how often do you recommend to change your line?
Now, change my line maybe once every 4 or 5 trips out.
Oh, that often?
Yes. It really will improve the lifetime of your reel.
Well, as cheap as line is, I guess why take a chance on the line going bad on you when you've got a big fish on the other end?
That's true.
Well, how do you spool up a bait casting reel? Is there any trick to that?
Yeah, actually I got one set right over here. Okay, Mark, here's one I'm getting ready to put on. Let me show you a trick here that I've always learned, used quite a bit. This will save a lot of line for the times you don't need quite as much line.
Are you leaving some of the old line on there?
Yeah, that's what, exactly.
Okay.
You don't need, I can't cast quite that far, so
True.
what I'm going to do is, it's basically just a granny knot. You're
attaching the new line to the old line?
Right.
Okay.
We're going to make a loop, and that's going to go through there 3 times.
Well, this is a good idea. This way, you know, you're not using as much new line, so that would enable us PO folks to come back and re-spool our lines a little more.
Exactly, yeah. It saves a lot of line, plus you don't really need that line.
Okay.
Now, with your help, I'm going to show you how to do this.
Okay.
What you want to do is you want to have that line come off the top of the spool right onto the reel.
Okay.
Your line always has to go on the same way it comes off that spool. So
that's good to know.
we just crank her on there, and as it fills up, we'll be ready to go.
Okay. Well, very good. Now, is there any difference, I mean, with the spinning reels compared to this bait caster?
Yeah, sure is.
You do the same thing? You use a backing on the spinning reel too?
I sure do.
Okay.
The backing saves a lot of line. It's also going to keep you from using up quite that much money.
Okay.
Here we got one set up. Instead of the line coming off a pencil on a spinning reel, what you've got to do is have that line come off that spool the same way.
Okay.
It's going to go onto your rod, or actually your reel.
Okay.
So if I can have you hold that up and
okay, so it comes off the top again?
No, what I need you to do there is point that spool right at me.
Oh, okay, just like it goes as it comes, as it comes off of the spool, I guess what I'm trying to say. Okay, I got you.
Comes off the spool.
Now, what is the purpose of this?
That's going to prevent a lot of twist, and it's basically that's the biggest reasons for it to keep the twist out.
Well, I guess that explains why I get so many twists in my line.
It'll sure do it, that's for sure.
It's a simple little trick, but I guess that'll really make a big difference.
Yes, it will.
Okay, all right, Russ.
I think we're about full right there, Mark.
Well, we have got our reels cleaned and ready to go. We got a new line on there. Guess there's just one thing left to do.
What's that?
Let's go fishing.
That's right. Let's go.